Amen. It's so good to see you, darling. What's going on?
Oh, oh my goodness. It's just amazing to see you. How you doing?
I am doing fabulous. I am not going to complain. I got more snow on the roof, but
Because it was Teacher Appreciation Week, I thought that I would introduce to my Providence family an educator that had a long-lasting impact on my life.
oh, you
And
should have told me
I'm
because I
just
had my hair
delighted
done
to
better. But oh
share.
my goodness. And I got on the sweatshirt.
Oh my God,
Put
it's
my
all good.
arrow
I know
back.
teachers can relate. My teachers can relate. Um, but I could not wait to introduce
Mm,
Andrew Robinson to my Providence Public Schools community because,
okay.
and also zooming all the way from Pensacola, Florida. So I appreciate
Oh
that.
man, this
But
is
I
awesome.
just, I think about just what you meant to me. And I always tell folks that you had just this eye and this ear for kids. Like no one
Mm,
ever questioned who you loved and who you believed in. And I tell them the story, and I'm 46 years old, and I tell them the story about how you would take me outside and type me up and say, listen, I don't care anything about your mama being on drugs. I don't care anything about your dad being in prison, and the world doesn't care anything about that. What they care about
mm-mm.
is you and you being successful. And this is a cold world when you're not.
Amen.
And I say that, Ms. Robinson, because even though like I'm 46 years old, I remember those words as if it
Mhm.
would be yesterday morning. Like, what was it like being the first teacher of color? I mean, you've got to have stories just for years.
Yeah, but can I still call you Pete?
Absolutely.
I have to honor that. But coming up, my dad always instilled in us that we were just as good, if not better, than the next person. So I was never really taught to see color. That might sound kind of crazy back then, but we were taught, hey, if they can do it, you can do it. So I went in with the understanding that, hey, I got this. Well, a lot of, and I never will forget, I don't know if Miss Priest was there when you were there or not. She was a little Latin teacher.
Yes.
Okay, well, anyway, because that my first day there, they all came out to meet me. All these folks out there. I said, Dad, why? And I didn't drive, didn't have a driver's license, didn't have a car. So my dad had to take me to work. And he said, well, I'm gonna stand right here until you get in. And I said, oh, these folks standing here. That was the longest walk. So Miss Priest got me to the side and she said, well, darling, how does it feel being Black? And I looked at her, I say, how do you feel being white? And she said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. But that's just how it was. I don't know. And I enjoyed every minute. There were bad days, there were rough days. Uh, Sometimes they didn't want him in my class, but Mr. Mabry or Mr. Christian was first. And then Mr. Mabry, they never would take anybody out of my class.
And I think about like, man, why was she so tough on me? But the realities that you had to deal with every day, being
Mm-hmm.
the first person of color at PHS, knowing how difficult it was going to be for a young man like me of color trying to go up in a world that wasn't designed for him to be, like it all came true.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, everything that you've ever said and shared, it just resonated. It was a real emotional moment because it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It just made too much sense. So I've always lived my career saying what we tell children. And it's the
Yes.
things that you said long time ago about being successful, making good choices, be
Mm-hmm.
you too big to back so crazy, mind your manners, all of this stuff that you've taught us, not only how to flourish, but sometimes just how to survive as a person of color.
Mm-hmm.
Schools. And that story that I share about our relationship and about how you had an impact on my life, it still resonates to people that literally, I just told a group of students about my 10th grade experience with Ms. Robinson in English class. She
Oh,
didn't,
Lord.
but I tell them, I also use it to a lot of my educators, like what we tell children now, they will always remember. So it's
Amen.
good to stand up the positive. It's good to stand up the belief that we have in children.
Mm-hmm.
I could not I cannot think of a better person to have celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week.
Oh, it makes my day.